Hello everyone, welcome back to A Path Forward. I apologize for the delay. There has been something going on in my home, so I couldn't really do much to update the videos. But I should be back on track again. Okay. I have introduced several principles, and as long as people follow these principles, I think they can do well. And from now, I'll start to share some of the tools or knowledge that I have know, so that people can do. Hopefully, people can do better with their life and achieve a better result. Today, I'm gonna introduce part of the financial management, which is and it's about real estate. Just in case of all the laws or like locations and time change. So today is August 25th, 2024, and I'm located in Virginia in United States. So for all the rules, there might be some difference, but I think in general the concept, a lot of them would be applicable to no matter where you are or which city you live. Okay, so in today's video, I'm gonna cover 4 topics. What is real estate, and value factors that determine the house price or the property price, and how to select one, and the details of how the process is done. Okay, what is real estate? Real estate, people may think, okay, it's a house, but what is behind that? The true need people have. It's basically a property is a basic human need. As we all know, like for bird, if they want to have a partner, they need to build a nest in order to attract one. And that's because there is a need for safety. So it doesn't really matter it's just human, it can be any living animals, because there is a basic need for seeking a shelter that can fulfill their need for feeling safe. And also it can provide some like warmth, and instead of like exposed to the environmental hazard like rain, wind, and etc. And also in modern days, real estate, it also creates a forced savings. For example, every single month, in order to pay off the debt, you need to put down some money to pay it off, which can also create a sort of saving. And because this is the mortgage, so you have to pay it, and thus creating the forced saving. And the next is money leverage. Real estate, as they are creating they are being a mortgage, they are also can be used as your money leverage. For example, I believe a lot of people have heard of examples when the interest rate go down. A lot of people will do a refinance, but there is also something called like cash refinance. Like instead of refinance, what you have in the remaining, you refinance the whole, you sort of like put your house down and get a estimated loan that's match the full price of the house. So you can take advantage of the low interest and use that money to do some investment, or like improving your productivity, and so you can start to make more money. Also, the real estate agent, real estate, they can help you to do a easier budgeting because for example, if you have been renting, you know that the rent price usually goes up like every year by a certain percent. And the real estate, because I think at least a lot of the, place, there will be fixed rate available. So you can lock in your rate. So that's with your like next 30 years of monthly payment. And I know there will be like a property tax that can slightly increase your monthly payment and also the insurance stuff, but relatively it's much lower speed compared to the rent. So it's relatively can be considered as stable. Okay, let's move to the next. So there are actually some common myths people heard when people are talking about like real estate. Like for example, they think okay, the spending is the same as rent. So, but the thing is, when you are renting and you are saving, even though the payment is the same, but when you are paying your mortgage, a certain percent of the mortgage will be put down and sort of become your saving. Although this saving can only be withdrawn when you do a refinance or sell the house, but that's still a saving. And after like several years, that can build up a huge cash reserve for you, even though it's not immediately available, but it's relatively readily available. And plus, as I mentioned before, the rent goes up like around like 5% or so every single year. But for the mortgage, your rate is the rate going up is actually much lower. So you maybe at first, let's say maybe 3 to 5 years, they are about the same. But after that, you are actually paying much lower compared to if you are staying renting. And also the next myth people have is like saying, okay, if I'm renting, there will be less work. Because you don't need to do much to take care of the property because the landlord will do it. But actually, it's about the same because when you are renting, most of work, no matter if you are renting or if you are like buying, most of work is actually just doing the normal cleaning. And if you renting and you do not clean, eventually the place will become sort of like unlivable or undesired to be lived in, and you will be forced to move to another place. And at that point, you will need to spend money to relocate. That's an expense. And if you are buying, and if you don't clean, you eventually the house could be damaged, and you need to pay some money to fix it. So after all, it will be actually the same price. If you do not do the work to do the basic maintenance or cleaning. And last common myth I think most people have is that they think renting has a more flexibility. At certain level, I agree with that, but I think people need to ask themselves, do you really have that need to relocate like every couple year, or like I mentioned in a rough calculation, like the first within the first 3 to 5 years, maybe it's like renting and buying it's about the same, but after that buying is way outpricing the renting. So I mean not outpricing, but it's like cheaper than renting considering like how much you are paying out of your pocket. So you need to really ask yourself, do you really have that need to relocate like every couple years in order to make it make renting actually worth it? Okay, let's move to the next key one, the value factors. I know for a house price, there are like I have listed 5 things. That's like to make it easier, I call it like 5 S's. But there are also a couple things that probably people already like know by common sense, which is like population and financial condition in the area. So I did not list those two. Just out of everywhere, like without those like common things, but the things people are not really commonly considering. One is your safety. Safety is like, as we have seen the Maslow's hierarchy. Safety is a very like low level of need. Like people need the safety or secure the shelter. Like it could potentially be the next level of need beside the food or like the fundamental stuff. And also the next one is the society. By society, I'm talking about, okay, what kind of people lives in here, and for example, are they like nice? And also by society, I'm also talking about the environment. Like for example, the design, does it looks beautiful, or is there like eco friendly? Like is there a lot of like wild animals and etc. Starting this point, there isn't really a clear cut line of good or bad, but there is a lot of like personal preference. But most of the times, like most commonly, people prefer beautiful stuff, prefer quiet stuff, and prefer eco-friendly stuff. Like for example, if you see a pond of water, you can go there fishing and enjoy the time, etc. And the next one is school. By school is actually more of like a education system, and also school is also a child caring system. For example, when adults are going out to work, there is a place where they know their children will be safely staying in. So whether the school is good or bad can affect the house price as well, and also the school safety and all the stuff like school tuition and etc. And also, the next will be considering into the property itself, whether the property is sophisticated. By sophisticated, I'm talking about, for example, whether this design is humane. I have lived in several properties. A lot of designs that really feels it feels like it's anti-human level. Like a lot of things are designed to be very inconvenient. For example, either a lot of people when they going out or like going back, if there will be a sort of like a counter right next to the door, so they can easily put their key and all the things that they need to take every time they going out on there. It will be very convenient, but some place does not have it. And also some place they make the kitchen at the very center of the house. So when you are cooking, it's hard to get all the like cooking airs or smokes out of the house, and making it very like smelly and also smoky in the house. And eventually that can actually create a lot of health issue as well. Like all these kind of like tiny things, and that can make a house maybe looks good or maybe in a good location, but it's very hard to live, and etc. And also the last thing will be the size of the house, which comes to a very fundamental. Like usually the more space or the larger the property is, the more expensive it is. But the size, besides taking a consideration of the house itself, people also need to think of how much land they will getting. in a place where the population is going up, which is a like general trend for the entire humanity. So theoretically, as long as the place you are living in is not a population outflow city, the land price will be going up over the time. So eventually, all the land, every land or every inch of the land will worth a lot. Okay, now let's get into how to select. So there are several like fundamentals. The first one you need to know, which is very like, of course, the money. You need to know how much down payment you have and how much monthly payment you need to pay, and also all the additional fees. For example, in where I'm living in, if I pay with like a conventional loan, it'll require a 20% down payment. And if I do not meet that, I need to pay a certain price for the mortgage insurance. But that mortgage insurance is actually expensive. So overall, my monthly payment will not be really lowered. It's actually overall I'm actually paying a lot of extra, maybe like several like certain percent or certain like 20% ish over my entire mortgage. And also like for the fees, for example, right now in here there are like agent fees, and also like you need to pay the fee for um, there will be a process where you need to like have people do a estimate for the house you are buying, and if they think the house does not really worth that price, you may also need to cover the difference. And also for this service itself, you need to pay a certain fee, and also like to register the title transfer in the government, you also need to pay a certain fees as well. All these stuff you need to think of. And also the next is the time. So when by time talk about a lot of time you need to think of when you are buying the house, what sort of house you are buying. For example, by the initial home buying, the first thing you need to consider is, okay, are you like currently like renting? Is there a hard date that you have to move out? And if that's the case, then your time is limited and you need to make a timely decision. In that case, you probably don't have much options. The only thing you can choose is probably like which city or which zone, and also what's available to you. And but if you are for example, right now I'm basically looking for a house, but right now I'm looking for a house to prepare for the future of my child, for her to go to school. And since she's still young, I still have like a couple years. In that time, in that case, I have like a lot of time to do all the research, and also like think of more clear of what I can afford, and also wait for a better price. And also people need to make sure that during a home buying process there is contract as well. The contract may take some time, like for example, usually in here where I'm located at, the contract is usually like a month long. In that month you need to like arrange all the home inspections to make sure the house is in the good condition, and also whether you want to continue or like have anything modified in the contract. And also you need to consider like how much time you have to move. Like for example, some contract in certain cases you can actually have them do the fix like have the contract extended, so for them to do a aircraft fix, and also for the relocation, it may take some time for you to get everything ready as well. Okay, the next one is the requirement. So that's basically, I think I explained or presented some examples. What's your hard need at the moment? With if we look back to all the 5 S's, what is the very fundamental need that you need to get? Usually people can I know I list all these 5, but these 5 does not really have a certain priority orders, except maybe safety, because no matter where you live, I think a good safety is gonna be important. And then at certain areas, a good school zones, or there might be good houses, sophisticated, beautiful, nice society. However, the school they do not have a good school zone, and if you have a child that in need of going to school, it's probably not a good fit for you, because every component you put in will increase or decrease the house price. So are you in the position where you want to live more comfort, or do you have a huge family that you need to put size into a very high consideration, or do you trying to go to school so that school is the most important? So you need to list all these hard requirements and then start to filtering them out. Okay, after you have done your research and narrow down and actually applied an offer and got into a contract, there are several things you need to do. First thing is you need to make sure, actually before you sign the contract, you need to be carefully review the terms and conditions for the contract, so you understand everything and make sure everything you want the seller or the seller agent to do or to be completed before you close. It's clearly listed on there, and there should be terms to make sure that you can extend the contract if they have not met the requirement. And also there should be terms that you can get out the contract if they do not meet all the requirement, or certain uncertainties can create can give you a way to back out without causing any pain. And after the contract is cleared, you need to done a inspection. By inspection, I'm talking about a home inspection, but home inspection is a very general one. A very important thing is a foundation inspection, because no matter how good or how bad a house looks like, if their foundation is bad, it's going to crash. So no matter what, make sure you get yourself a foundation inspection for a house in that inspection period. And then after all the inspection is done, you need to let the remodify the contract and etc. to make sure they fix whatever you need to fix, or to back out the contract. And if they agreed, and then in that period of time, there will be a OQE transfer. By OQE, I'm talking about there is a registered contractor or repairs person that actually has done the job in a proper manner. In that way, this is actually the process where things can be a lot of trickier, because in a lot of times people think in the contract people will write do the repair in a good manner, but good manner cannot be quantified. So a lot of people will do a cheap repair that can make it look good, and it's still considered as a good manner. Instead of some people, they think, okay, a good manner is a high quality. No, it does not guarantee any high quality or anything. So this is where like a lot of things a lot of people can actually decide to get out of the contract, because there is a different understanding for the contract. And remember, the seller will try to maximum their like best of interest, and so should you, to make sure the seller at least fulfill your like basic requirement or your like simple need, especially like for, remember, you are like getting a loan or paying a huge amount to buy a house, so there will be a lot of like uncertainties. And if you bought a house that you feel sucks, it's gonna suck for a very long time. So be careful during the OQE transfer and review them carefully. One very near example I had is that the in our contract we said, okay, you need to repair the foundation, and then they said the repair. But the thing is, in the repair we did clearly list several items, and they did not list it, but they are pretending they did it. And so eventually I had to get into contact with a lawyer, because the term written is kind of tricky. Fortunately, they actually forgot to write that term on there, so that helped us to get out of the contract without actually being hurt. Okay, and after everything is transferred, you'll be moving to a closing, or like I said, if you decide to like stop that process, you may need to find a clean way to cancel it. Otherwise, if they have done everything required in the contract, they can force you to close it, or they can like sue you for not buying their house. And if they sell the house later with a lower price, they can sue you to charge you to make you pay the difference. But that's why I said, like, it's very important to make sure all the contract is done. And also, before, no matter what promise you got, remember, do not sign that closing document unless they have actually fulfilled their like eligibility or their job in the contract. Because after it's closing, you are saying, okay, everything is done, and there is no more requirement on the for any party to do anything. So be careful with what you are doing or what you are processing. Okay, I think that's all I have for today, and thank you for watching. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and leave me any comment down below. Until then, see you next time.